After a closer look at the Floraverse in a circle, a dangerous and worrying picture starts to take form. Diving into the community and some of its key players, one will repeatedly find acts and people that children should not be around. Glip's wife Eevee, while they have later disowned their previous comments, has multiple times defended incest, pedophilia, and the possession of child porn. And while them disowning those comments in the apology letter Glip put out after the divorce with Marl, it is still a disturbing stance to have had, especially when looking at the company they keep. Some of that company can be Reynard, who used to be a mod on the Floraverse Discord servers, who was a self-admitted Sue and pedophile who got kicked out because his interest came to light, and Glip wasn't too keen on him being a zoophile cause it reminded them too much of Marl. There is also Carousel and Final Court, two members of the Discord who would discuss their shared fetish for turning people into balloons, and specifically mention how they were interested in turning minors into balloons, as well as using endless rape as a form of punishment for various members of the Discord characters. Arguably, one of the more worrying people on the servers is Opa Opa, a comparatively older man who allegedly got coerced by the community to divorce his wife. Later, despite being told by Glip themselves that he was not mentally fit to do so, he would offer to take in a mentally unwell 19-year-old, Jolly, and move them cross-state and away from friends and family to live with him. Here, he would offer them a small room and very sparse living arrangements. He would also allegedly expose himself to them. Jolly was unable to pay the agreed upon rent, but was told it wasn't an issue until it suddenly was. This would result in Jolly being told they had to move, which prompted them to try and take their own life multiple times. Undeterred, Opa Opa would still insist they move out and air his frustration to the Floraverse Discord servers, where its members would lament Jolly's failure to kill themselves. Especially Glip was very vocal about this, yet would publicly try and make it seem like they were empathetic for Jolly. When this was revealed to be fake, Glip would claim they were still in the right for feeling this way, not ever addressing the disconnect from how they had acted in public to how they truly were behind the scenes. Lastly, there's Waz, the person who created the visual novel about Rena's sexual assault. They had initially claimed it was slightly linked to Rena, but would then backpedal and say the two weren't related at all. However, leaked Discord messages would come out revealing that the visual novel was indeed about Rena. It would also come to light that Waz had left the servers, and the people on the server were happy for this, as Waz was apparently not very nice to be around. Despite this, as well as Rena's allegation, Waz was still welcomed back into the Discord with open arms. In short, the Discord is, and seems to have for the longest time been, a melting pot of various different misfits, and while that's fine on its own, an alarming big number of these misfits have proven to be a danger to children, of which one can only assume the majority of the Floraverse servers members are, based on how the Floraverse comic looks and how it promotes itself. On the 1st of April 2023, the YouTuber Insomniac Idiot XO would publish a video called The Depravity of Glitchedpuppet's Community, Fuzziest Degenerates Part 2. This video was a re-upload as they had initially focused on Marl and left the allegations by Rena as more of a side note. Yet looking into the situation further and speaking with both Voss and Glip, they re-uploaded the video to reflect the new information they had gathered. It was originally intended to not use this video in any capacity, to not give either side an excuse to copyright strike this video. However, since writing the script, the video as well as Insomniac Idiot's entire YouTube channel has been taken down. As of such, various bits and pieces of Insomniac Idiot's EXO's original archived video will be used throughout this chapter. The video would cover both Rena's allegations as well as snippets of the letter that Rena had allegedly posted to the Floraverse servers when they left. It would also go more in depth about Rena and their relationship with the server, as well as cover allegations of further harm Voss had inflicted upon them. But what really set the video apart was Insomniac reaching out to both Glip and Voss for comment on the situation. Insomniac would reach out very neutral and professionally, asking Voss if they would be interested in doing an interview to get their side of the story.
Hello, I've seen some allegations going around within the people in your community and even against you as well. I was wondering if you would like to do an interview on a call to get your side of the story, as there is quite a few people who seem to be against you. I'm an extremely small channel who's trying to get the truth of situations similar to this out there, and understand if you do not wish to further talk about this issue. Wish you nothing but the best, XO.
Voss would however reply with, "I would prefer not to do an interview about whatever you're talking about," and would then follow it up with allegedly blocking Insomniac. Insomniac would also reach out to Glip. Once again, they would approach them professionally and even seemingly taking their side a little, saying, "I've recently seen some allegations against the members of your community, and it seems that a lot of people are attacking them unfairly." Glip would respond, stating that they were not interested in an interview, but would then curiously keep on going, writing multiple paragraphs in response.
Like I said, I will remain respectful when contacting people, especially strangers, and the whole -XO in the end was supposed to be me ending the conversation, believing this was gonna be the last message ever sent. But no, they replied once again.
These would include them asking Insomniac to not cover the story, as they feared it would hurt the people involved.
Hi, I'm not interested in doing an interview. I've already posted my logs of the situation and basically everything can be gleaned from the logs. I don't want this to be a big situation. I don't even want attention on this because I fear it will end up hurting everyone involved. Yes, even people who do accusations can get hurt from this kind of thing, and I care about that too. I don't know you, and I don't have a reason to believe that you would give the situation the care and attention it deserves. I feel you'll probably end up hurting me or the others you've messaged. I mostly want to move on and keep telling stories with my characters, which is what I actually enjoy here. I don't want to spend time explaining this situation in depth to a stranger who I have no reason to believe would care about the nuance involved or know how to understand who got hurt and why. Please, if you care at all about reducing harm, don't involve yourself in this. Please let the situation die down on its own and don't make things worse. I already feared that the person making the accusations will be hurt from me posting logs they forgot about, and I don't really trust you to not make things worse for them. I mostly wish they would be able to heal and recover, and I don't think that doing an interview would help them with this. I'm speaking from my past experiences of people sensationalizing things about me in the past, and how this only really hurt me. I feel strongly this would end up hurting anyone if you do this, based on my decade of experience with this kind of thing. Please don't.
Insomniac would respect Glip's decision to not do an interview and thank them for at least giving them the time of day to respond, as well as apologizing for contacting them out of the blue.
I understand your perspective, and you do have more experience with this kind of thing within your community in the past and have tried moving past it. It's admirable that you're trying to avoid hurting not only those in your current community who are close to you, but also those who are making the accusations. It's true that you don't know anything about me, so I apologize for contacting you out of the blue for an interview, as I can recognize how that seems suspicious. I'll respect your decision to not do the interview and will no longer try contacting you or those involved within your community, since you believe it could cause more harm than good in the end. I hope even after everything you still remain strong after all that you've been through. Thank you for giving me time out of your night to at least respond to reject my proposal instead of ignoring me. Wish you nothing but the best for your future, XO.
Yet again, Glib would respond, continuing to converse with Insomniac, who, judging from the last message and their own words, was fine with just ending the talks then and there.
Thank you, I appreciate this. I want to care about both my community and about the person who made the accusations, even if it's painful. I believe that how they're heard in their home contributes to the way they act, and I really truly don't want harm to come to them. It's been painful to navigate what they've said and done, but ultimately it's understandable to me given what I know about their home life. I'm hoping that given enough time they can review the logs I've posted and come to terms with things. I was on the other end of a situation kind of similar before a decade ago, where it was a huge misunderstanding and emotional knot that took me some years to unravel, and someone made a call out about it that really caused a lot of pain for me over the years. But I'm friends with that person now, after working it out over the past few years. I think the person making the accusations just needs to grow in some ways emotionally, and I have hope that they can eventually see the situation for what it is. I want them to have the time and space to do so, and it's really hard when it feels like it's me versus the world, and I fear something like an interview or video or something would cause them to feel more isolated. What I really hope for is that they can become more connected and see no one wanted to hurt them in the first place. Anyway, thank you for being understanding. I appreciate it.
The two of them would continue to converse, talking about feelings and drama in very loose terms. Insomniac would respond to Glib's messages, validating their experiences and empathizing with them. A key thing to note is that Insomniac would continue to end their messages in a way that could be considered final, thus ending the conversation. Yet Glib would continue to respond.
Thank you for these words. I feel them as very kind and unexpected. I'm doing my best to take care of my mental health, and I appreciate the check on that. I spent years working on being able to handle this kind of thing, and it did used to hurt me pretty badly, but I've got a kind and supportive community, and so I've been mostly enjoying my past weeks working on projects with them. It's helped me a great deal to be able to step back and work on things with people I enjoy working with. While I do feel the situation is overall unfair, I honestly try my best to work understanding from these situations into how I tell my stories, so that the characters care more and have more compassion. That's very meaningful to me, and it works well for moving forward for me personally. Regardless, thank you. I'm doing my best for myself and for everyone. I just wanted to say I felt these words as kind, and they do matter to me.
And every time Glib would respond, Insomniac would respond in kind, almost seeming to try and cheer a distressed Glib up, saying things like,
if you ever feel alone or stressed, you always have your community to fall towards. That is something that you personally made throughout years of dedication for your own love for art. The community you help create is an extension of yourself, and if they are just as kind and supportive as you, then you should feel proud of what you helped create. Can't wait to see the kind of projects you're going to be making in the future. Hope more people come out and show their support for you, as you do have many people who do care, not only for your projects, but for you as a person. I know you can make it through this small bump in the road. You've been stronger than most, and your art reflects that beautifully. Have a nice night.
Insomniac would post these DMs in their video, and one could even confirm using the timestamps that nothing had been cut out, so all in all, it just felt like Insomniac had politely asked for an interview that Glib and Wars had declined, and Insomniac had in turn respected this and even thrown some encouragement their way as a response to them seeming distressed. So everything was good, right? Well, not exactly. On March the 31st, 2023, a day before the video dropped, Glib would post on their Twitter saying the following.
I have a question. If someone kept trying to ask you for something specific and ignored that it made you feel unsafe and kept asking you 50 times for it, would that feel like being used to you? Because this reminds me of my experience with Brave and Marl. I just had a Twitter DM conversation with someone who kept pushing and ignored emotional harm I was trying to express was occurring, and I feel really disoriented. It felt like Marl treated people this way, and I felt terrified this person couldn't see it. It feels so violating. I don't want this. Others don't want this. Repeatedly being ignored. It is so deeply painful and tense. It is terrifying when someone cannot see what they're doing. I wish people didn't feel the need to exploit others.
Insomniac was confused about this, as they felt they had been nothing but kind and professional with them, stating,
"Oh my lord, this has been one of the most annoying experiences I had to making a video, and will be making a response to it. Tomorrow, 1:30 p.m., my new video with a lot of changes will be published with the responses to a lot of things. My conversation with Glitchedpuppet was such a negative experience for them that it was compared to their experience with rape. I'm sorry, but nowhere in my conversation was I ever rude and will be publishing everything about that very soon. But wow, that is insane to me.
They would follow up with,
Also, they're talking about me, saying my conversation with them reminded them about their experience with rape and the husband who made them abuse their dog sexually. Video on that soon as well.
perhaps as a response to this video being made about them, Glib, as well as their Discord members Wars, Curry, Scape and Phoebe, will go on to publish 3 videos onto YouTube, spanning over 6 hours in length. The videos were called Floraverse and Glitchedpuppet and the Truth, and would function in the same way as a podcast, where the 5 would delve into multiple topics relating to the community, past issues, and would basically try to, in their eyes, set the record straight. We will be returning to that video series later. For now, we will be focusing on the accompanying 50-page document naming YT Guy Trying to Manipulate. Right off the bat, the document goes on to assert that Insomniac was harassing them for drama, and their words of kindness were fake and in order to lure them into responding.
This person kept harassing me for drama. They harassed my friend Iz too. He uses fake words of kindness and compassion in order to lure people into responding.
They would go on to state that Insomniac was only acting receptively, but it was all an act and purposeful deceit. One could argue that Insomniac did appear to be rather smugly describing how they never actually lied, as they did mean things they said. It might just have been referred to things that Glib and Was would go on to misconstrue as something else.
But never once did I actually lie within these texts, as I generally do believe the art style is unique and if it looks really good. Just because I do believe a person may be bad doesn't take away any talents they may have.
They would also claim that Insomniac was pressuring Was, referred to by Is, for information.
I tried to be appreciative for the understanding. I tried to be open about things to a degree here. This guy acts like he understands how people's feelings work, but as the conversation goes on, he ignores mine repeatedly and tries to extract video material from me. He acts like he cares about my mental health, but he pressures Is next. So he clearly doesn't care about mental health if he thinks someone is bad or an aggressor.
However, as stated previously, Was had blocked Insomniac after replying to them, and would go on to unblock Insomniac and respond to Insomniac, mentioning they'd been blocked by Was on Twitter, and that made the allegations raised against Was seem more believable to them.
I recently contacted an alleged groomer/predator in order to see their side of their story. I believe I was being extremely respectful considering the circumstances. The reply was to deny talking about it, which would be fine, but then acts clueless and blocks me. I was not attacking or harassing them in any way, but to just block me makes them seem more guilty of the grooming/predatory allegations that are stacked against them. I was about to unblock you and send you a message of apology because my friend Ash told me you reached out and showed genuine care toward the situation. It made me happy to see what you had said, but I just noticed your post about me, which makes me really confused. It doesn't feel like you actually care after all. The reason I blocked was because I was afraid you would try to sensationalize the situation, which would hurt everyone involved, especially Rena. I don't care what your personal feelings are about me, but what you posted here is really ridiculous and only tells me that you want to breed more confusion.
Insomniac would reply to Was, explaining their case, to which even Was would agree that their explanation made sense.
It was very genuine, and I do care about the truth about situations, since I feel I should hear everyone's side, but the way you brushed off my concerns, even after I was extremely respectful towards you and even decided to reach out to multiple members of your community. The ignoring the concerns, acting clueless about what I was talking about, and blocking me seem more as if you were trying to silence me. It doesn't take a long paragraph or well-worded statement to just say, "Hey, I don't feel comfortable talking about what you are referring to," and just leaving the conversation. That would have most likely been the last time I would have contacted you or even talked about you at all. Instead, you blocked me and acted clueless. Glitchedpuppet has been very generous and kind with her words, which makes me believe that they are very much not at all guilty of what they are being accused of, as well as providing evidence of their claims. I did not interview them, and they voiced their concerns with not wanting to hurt those around them, so I will not pursue any kind of interview with them in the future either. Just because one person has been shown to be kind and genuine doesn't mean that all parties involved are the same way. You claim to be confused, but with your response and after blocking me, it created a narrative that you simply don't care about resolving the issue. Nowhere in my tweet was I attacking or telling anyone to go attack you. All I said was alleged, which is what the situation currently is, allegations that have not been proven. I'm genuine to those who will actually talk to me as a person, but the way you responded felt rude and insensitive towards those involved. I apologize if you feel as though I'm not being genuine in my response, but I assure you, I care about the situation and towards the safety of those around your community. All I can base my thoughts on are the allegations and your response to them. That is all. I have no feelings against or for you. I do not feel hate nor like towards you, since I have no idea who you are as a person except for the initial response and actions you gave me. I feel this makes sense. I'd like to voice what my impression was, if that's okay with you. My impression, my assumptions I made about you.
Wars would apologize for the way they had reacted, and Insomniac would apologize in kind for making those tweets.
I'm sorry I treated you that way. It's okay, I understand your reasoning for doing it now. I'm sorry about the tweets, I'll take them out now. I'm still at fault for making those tweets, hope this doesn't sour things.
Wars would follow up with saying that they'd be willing to answer questions Insomniac would have, but not wish to do a call interview. Insomniac would respect this and even follow up with saying how Wars shouldn't feel pressured to answer any questions or discuss anything that would make them feel uncomfortable. They would offer them to take as much time as needed to answer the questions, and that nothing had to be answered now if Wars felt like they needed to get their things in order before they felt comfortable responding.
I appreciate it. If you generally want to talk about this stuff, I'd be willing to answer questions. I don't think I'd be comfortable with a call interview, but I have plenty of backstory and logs and such over what's going on and why. I'm not available fully at this moment, but I guess I want to ask, why do you care? I know you make YouTube videos, and I admit that scared me, because I did assume you only wanted to make content out of something that I wish had just stayed personal until Rena posted their scene. But now I want to know what you genuinely want to know and why. That makes sense, and I see how that connects to something like this. I don't want you to feel pressured to answer any questions or discuss the matter in any way that makes you feel uncomfortable. Take your time, as this issue is still very much fresh, and let me know if you feel as though you are ready. It could be later today or a whole month in the future. Don't feel as though you need to rush anything. I'll be waiting for you, and thank you for your time.
In other words, Insomniac was very much not pressuring Wars in any way. In fact, giving them ample opportunity to take as much time as they needed to answer if they were even comfortable enough to answer in the first place. Glib would later point to a message exchange where Insomniac had asked whether or not Wars had any interest in answering their last message, but looking at the screenshot, one can see that 3 days had passed since their last interaction.
He's asked me the same question, here's my thoughts on why I approached them. Are you going to respond to my last message? He didn't actually share that he had acted coercively regarding Is, then pressures me.
The Google document would go on to talk about Insomniac's video, stating,
He only takes the video down because he wants to do another hit piece on someone and now seems to feel bad for getting some details wrong.
While pointing to a message from Insomniac saying,
I apologize for misgendering you two and will correct myself from now on. Thank you for informing me. I'm currently working on correcting the mistakes made with that video one by putting the response. Would you like me to take that video down, as I would be happy to oblige you with that?
Insomniac is putting the control completely in Glib's hands while showing that they are clearly interested in correcting stuff they got wrong in the video.
Please do take the video down. I would like to share also that I just woke up from a nightmare where Rena's mom tried to come to my house and murder someone. This is the level of pain I have over this. Even talking with you calmly over this causes me to have nightmares about them. I apologize, I do not wish to cause any fear or mental harm. The video is now completely taken down. If you do not wish to talk about the issue, that is alright, as you have been extremely kind with me since the start, and seeing you in any kind of pain is the last thing I would want to do. This is a lie. He did not correct the misgendering. He also keeps focusing on wanting to do another video. He only takes the video down because he wants to do another hit piece on someone and now seems to feel bad for getting some details wrong. However, this is hard to actually say because he lies constantly to me and to my friends. He ignores our words constantly. He ignores that we say he is hurting us. He ignores that we do not consent. He says he doesn't want to harm me, but his words are empty. He lies for views and to exploit.
Glib would continue, stating that Insomniac didn't acknowledge how the video is for him, not for Glib, nor their community.
I try to express that I do not want to believe this guy hurt me on purpose. I try to express it feels exploitative, how he's been. Spoilers, he doesn't acknowledge how the video is for him, not for me or my community. He literally cannot acknowledge exploiting me or anyone else, or that we feel this way. I was trying to cool off because you honestly did a lot of extremely painful and damaging things. People in my community were recovering for days from it, myself included. I typed up a lot of angry feelings for myself about feelings you brought up for me that really hurt me in the actions you've taken. I do not like it. I am trying to trust that you did not intend to hurt me or others, but I also feel really upset you keep wanting to do an interview or whatever. I do not want an interview. I do not want another video. I am fine with you writing a text document about corrections, but I do not currently trust you to make a video about this stuff at all. That makes me feel like you're using and exploiting me, like a prop. I do not want to be treated as a prop. I want to be treated as a person. I walked away from our first conversation thinking you wouldn't be doing a video at all, and I felt deceived, and then your response is you wanted to do a video about corrections? It doesn't feel like it's for me or my community. It feels like it's for you because you feel bad.
A cursory glance at Insomniac's channel showed that they cover a lot of content that can be considered dark and unsettling. It could from this be considered rather obvious that what Insomniac wished to do was make a video about a community that had garnered a negative reputation, as well as the allegations surrounding it. Looking at the channel and the topics they have covered, one could also be hard-pressed in saying he was a creator who would jump on the most recent story to milk it for views. The video about Kirill the Wolf is, for example, as of writing this, 3 months old, when the case first broke more than 4 years ago. Going through the Google document, it becomes apparent that there is some sort of disconnect between the video Insomniac had made and the document that Glib had put together. As a response to the document and the stuff Glib had said about Insomniac on Twitter, Insomniac would follow the video up with a follow-up video called Two-Faced Hypocritical Artist, My Response to Glitchedpuppet. The video would start with Insomniac correcting Glib on them saying that Insomniac had supposedly said that they wouldn't make a video or talk about the community. Instead, what Insomniac had said was that they would no longer try and contact Glib or anyone from their community to do an interview. Insomniac would also cover the pressuring of wars that they allegedly done and talk about the accusation that their videos were exploitative. Insomniac would also go on to talk about, and owning up to, a thing they considered they had indeed messed up with. Glib would accuse Insomniac of acting like Glib didn't go through sexual assault as a child. Insomniac would state that this stemmed from there supposedly being claims online about how Glib's sexual assault apparently didn't happen, but instead was something that happened to their sibling. However, Insomniac would agree that they shouldn't have tried to discredit Glib's story of sexual assault and apologize for that repeatedly. They would continue to talk about how Glib mentioned how they didn't consent to be in the video, but would counter that argument by saying that 80% of the video was about Voss and Marl. They also clarified that Glib's consent is not required for them to be making a video talking about the people in Glib's community. They would then go on to address them supposedly misgendering Glib, but would clarify that they would only do that at the end of the video, as that was from a previous segment from the original video before they became aware that Glib preferred they/them pronouns and had written as much in the description of the video. However, one could argue it would have been a quick thing to fix before re-uploading the video. Insomniac would then go on to claim that Glib never actually watched the original video, which would explain why there is such a disconnect between the video and what Glib claimed, despite the claims in the document being written by Glib. In episode 3 of the podcast series made by Glib, they would admit that indeed, out of the 5 people, Glib, Eevee, Waz, Phoebe, and Japhet, only Japhet had actually seen the video. The only minor of the group. This is despite the video containing trigger warnings such as this, where it states they'll be talking about child sexual assault, grooming, and other disturbing topics. We will not be covering all of the conflicting facts of the Google document and Insomniac's videos in this video, but watching the videos, it becomes very clear that either Glib had misunderstood the intentions of the video, or realized after the fact that even with the information they'd given Insomniac, they would still be able to depict Glip and their community in a bad light, and would thus try to discredit them. If you wish to learn more, both the logs with Glip's commentary as well as Insomniac's videos and channel will be in the description. Instead, we will move on to cover the video series Floraverse and Glitchedpuppet and the Truth.